I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They got me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I run no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a dilute. I order blood on my tongue. Thinking this is warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. They throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. A versus thinking in his man, but you can't see me. You rather drink, they gon' pull up, but took a knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, call me brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I pour all the planks, you Decepticons. Straight rappers to the streets like Cobra. 80s they can float, they like up in the storage and I'm man. Up, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja turtle back, turtle glands, get defeated. Hot in my ride, you can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me, cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket, my whole to the A, and I bet you can't stop us. LL bad when I go and show up. You can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? What's going on? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, get up, because you already know that the early bird gets the worm. And on today, we're finally going to recap episode 5 of The Last of Us. I think yesterday I took a little beating. They was trying to make it seem like I was just saying the show just sucks. I was just like, it's getting a little predictable because of the angle that they're going, which again is from the game, and that's okay, but it was a little, even though it had some very, very, very solid moments, there was just a little low for me. It happens. You're watching a series and they have a lot of exposition. They have a lot of things that they have to do. You're going to have boring parts. It just, for me, this was my little boring episode, but it still was good. Don't get it twisted, because I've seen worse. I've seen a whole lot worse. So this is just one of those episodes where, again, a little extra star power would have been cool, but it still did a great job of storytelling and everything. So we're going to get into it. But hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gant over at the Heavy Gant's React channel. But you already know how I do. The real question is, All right. Let me see who is all in the house. Marley Marr, good morning. Roberta, the church auntie, y'all better not have that cussing spirit up here. You hear me? You bet not. Good morning. Maji Khan, good morning. Good to see you up in the Chizat. Good to see you. Xavier Phoenix, as always, good morning. Tracy Woods, good morning. Robin D, the admin, is up in here. Good morning. And if you were on the Blurred AF yesterday, we had a special guest come through in the chat. Old John Campion came through. That was pretty cool. that was pretty cool for John Campy to come in and sit in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Throw a little extra, little money in the super chat. Talking old Smokey, Smokey, Smokey. So that was actually cool. They had a good conversation, and yesterday, I was just talking about on the Last of Us that it was just a little low for it was a little low. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think yesterday, because so much stuff happened, just was beyond my control. I was a little thrown off. So I'm gonna give it that. Turned around, rewatched it again. Still a good episode. Not a bad episode at all. There was just a little boring parts for me. That's it. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just a little boring, but it's okay. It's okay. Junior Network, good morning, good morning, good morning. The Sick Horror Kingman, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, look. Now we had this conversation. Who was it? It was in my in the chat. No, in the conversation that I had. In the chat the other day. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go. I think it was on the Marvel continues to show what they think about, black people, black characters. So I had an interesting conversation. It was it that one, or it could have been it could have been the other one. I think it was probably the Stevie Knight one. But somebody had made a comment, basically, was it this? It could have been this one. I'm just trying to find the comment section real quick, because there was a particular comment in here. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But there was just a particular comment that was said, was like, hey, this is why I particularly don't that's why I boycott Marvel, all of this, you know what I'm saying? Because look at what they're doing, which I totally agree with. And I also feel like, because, on this side, I tend to give the news and go out and I watch these movies or whatever to kind of give you my perspective, non-biased perspective. Whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC, the superhero genre, yes, I'm going to give you my non-biased opinion. Rather, and I'm doing it because, again, this is what my channel was built out off of. No matter what I feel morally, I'm going to give you the news. That's kind of what it is. I'm like a Temu journalist. That's what I'm gonna call myself, the Temu journalist for my channel. So when I don't want to hear anybody else's opinion about what's going on with Marvel, DC, all of that. I want to give my own opinion and what I feel. And I'm going to tell you what I feel, what I see, all of that, and also going to look at what's going on with the state of what's going on, all of that. That's what I'm coming to do. That's what I set my channel up for. If you read the description, that's what I talk about. I do commentary on this stuff. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to tell you what's up, right? In the same instance, oh, Jesus Lord. In the same instance, I'm trying to virtual out and look at other shows and stuff like that, so I could give you a different perspective, especially when it comes to like sci-fi and stuff like that. I want to kind of jump into this. So I did it with The Last of Us a couple years ago when the season 1 came out. And I think I was still in my apartment. So this was 2022 when The Last of Us came out. Because, again, me and Mika G was doing it. This is 3 years ago now. And then, coming into this season. And, again, I really liked season 1. Season 1 drew me in. I mean, there were certain things. I ain't gonna lie. I was very, very emotional about the show because it just hits you, especially as a father and someone who wants to protect not only my family, my as far as my immediate family, I am a protector of my friends. I will go hard in the paint for my friends until you choose until otherwise I will go hard in the paint. You know what I mean? For it. So I was very caught up in the show. So when I went into season 2, there's some expectations that I have and everything for the show. So if I say, hey, there's some things that I don't like, it's just I didn't like it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean I don't like the show. I don't like this particular this particular that. It has nothing to do with their sex, origin, all of that. I don't care nothing about none of that. I'm looking at performance. Again, I told y'all, what I do is I look at everything that I see on screen in the mind of an actor. What am I seeing as far as a performance? If I don't care if I'm watching a Tubi movie, I look at, because somebody be like, hey, won't you check out this movie? It's on Tubi. And the first thing that goes to my mind is low budget acting, low budget cinematography. Nobody's taking the art seriously. You know what I mean? That's what goes into my mind, honestly. But I still would like, okay, let me just check it out and let me see what's going on. So that's the way I look at it. Amazon Prime and all of this stuff. Let me check it out and let me see for myself. And then I give you a general consensus on what I see from my point of view. And again, I'm going to it as an actor point of view. So when I look at The Last of Us, I look at Marvel movies, DC movies, no matter what it is, TV shows, I look at it from an actor's point of view. So understand that. So when I say there's not a big presence on screen, I'm saying the performer is not performing to a level where they're making themselves stand out over anything. And it has to be consistent, not just for a scene or two. Consistency, kind of like what my Boston Celtics is not doing right now by being down 3-1 and giving up 2 20-point leads in games 1 and 2. So, yeah. So that's what I'm saying as far as that. So that's why, like I said, I give I give the critique that I do, so people can kind of understand where I'm coming from. All right, so I'm going to get into it. Let me catch all the people who's just now coming in the hizzy for shizzy. Let me see, where did I leave off at? Informant Media, what's up? What's up? He said the last episode 5 out of 10. I don't think it was that. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It's I think the pacing, because there's we're now getting the spores and all of that. It was a lot of setup that they had to do, and it creeped along. That, I think that's what it was. It just creeped along. But I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was mid. I think it was above mid. It just, for me, it creeped along. But there was a lot of dope ass scenes that was in here too. Derek Dynasty, what's up? Dina is starting to feel like that Dina's the main character. Like the way that they're filming, but again, WB has stock in her because she's getting ready to be Hawk Girl. So do you think they're not going to spotlight her? And her character is very interesting. Her character is starting to get, especially after this episode, her character started to get a little bit more mysterious. I'm kind of interested into hearing more of her backstory. No, I would never. No, I won't do that. Sorry. I won't do it. Yes, I will cover Ironheart. Most definitely will cover Ironheart. You silly. Let me see. Brother Juma, good morning. Tina, aka Mintygasm, good morning. Erica D, aka She Loves Fantasy. Good morning. All right. Before we get to the actual show, let's have a word from our sponsors. Hold up, wait a minute, whoa. Stop everything you're doing. Go and hit that like button. I know this is probably your first time watching and you probably enjoying everything. Stop fucking on the channel and go and hit that subscribe button so you never miss one of my videos or one of my morning live streams. And for only $2.99 a month, you know you could be a part of the crew. And shout out to all my crew members that have been holding it down for Dre Mack and the crew since the beginning. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program, now in service. So, bye. A shout out to all the crew members and the new crew members who got gifted memberships and all of that. You know, thank you so very much for being a part of the crew. Don't forget, if you're not a part of the crew, you want to be a part, it's only $2.99 a month, you know, to support the channel. Anytime that I got videos come out, you guys will be the first ones to watch it before it actually dropped for everybody else to be able to watch it. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, to everybody who supports the channel, I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome with the super chats this month. Everything, you guys have been completely awesome. And yes, more than more, the trailer for Ironheart drops on today. Yes. Yeah, of course, you know, I appreciate you. Ricky Junior's TV, what's going on? They wrote a very unlikable lead character. There is certain parts, you know, that they have made her unlikable in certain scenes. You know what I mean? In certain instances, they have made her very unlikable. You know, but I also look at it in like how they do in wrestling. A good heel is a great character. Ric Flair, one of the greatest of all times, was a unlikable heel, but you loved him. You know what I'm saying? Just like Dusty Rhodes was a very likable face because you loved him. You know what I'm saying? You want to root for him or root against him. And the mark of a good actor is, can they make you feel emotions? It does got to go with the writing. The writing and the acting has to go hand in hand. You know what I mean? But, you know, with that being said, how much of this are you getting out emotionally? I didn't see Raw because I was on the Blurred AF. So I did not see Raw. But let's go ahead. Let's transition. Let's go ahead. Let me share my screen. You know, and this episode is Feel My Love. In this particular episode, which in this particular episode, if this is the first time you watch one of our recaps, I skip over certain things because I don't want to get in trouble by HBO. Because I got shut down by Disney one time where I let it play just a little too long and didn't even know it. So I skip it. I skip intervals. I will recap this in my fun, unique, silly kind of way. And that's the way it's going to go. What up, Dr. Keisha? Dr. Keisha, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And shout out to the guys who came in and gifted memberships. Robin D and the one guy who came in and just gifted like 20 memberships. You know, Roberta and all of you guys are amazing. I swear, I love y'all. I want it one day. I want to do so. I would love to do like a meet and greet one day. And have people come in, you know, like a central point. Of course, I'm in Kansas City, so I'm in the middle of the heart of America. But I would love to like meet somewhere and do like a meet and greet and a hangout session. That'd be awesome. So, you know, I know me, Mika, and Blue are trying to plan something for Mad Monster. But I would love to like really do that one day. You know, I would love to do that one day. So hopefully, you know what I'm saying, when my SSI check comes in, I could be able to get that done. All right. So let's start this off. This particular episode starts off with, and this is the same lady. I believe she's a general or whatever. I can't think of her name. I know that she's the one who met with Isaac at the beginning of episode 4 when they turned on the patrol, the WLF, and you with but I wanted to call them federales, but they're not the federal. But they basically was the military that was controlling everything. He said, "You said don't forget your super chat." Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. I'll make sure to move those over today. Actually, I could do it today, but I'll make sure to download those or put those on Blurred AF in there. But she comes in, and this is basically a flashback because they're talking about the steroid basement access, and they're explaining that the cordyceps that are down there, they've been locked up down here since 2003. The cordyceps, they basically had and this is a hospital, right? And this particular hospital, it got so bad in the hospital, they locked basically basement 2 or B2, so they couldn't go in here. And this particular young lady that you're meeting here when you're having this conversation, she locked her son down here in the basement of this hospital. She had to, because she had to sacrifice. It was either, the infected come up through the hospital, or we lock them in that area. So yeah, she was explaining this situation and saying, look, they not only are locked in there, they actually have airborne spores that can affect you. And again, for those who have played the game that's in here, you already know that the majority of certain parts of the game that you got to wear a gas mask in there, because you don't want these airborne spores to get you. Well, unless you're Ellie and you're just Superman through the area, but that's what it is. She's explaining that she had to leave her son down there, because it's a wall full of infected. And not only did it affect her son, who it looked like he was like a nurse or a medical worker down there, but other workers, which we'll see later on. But now you got this whole situation with airborne spores. Like you can't catch a break in this universe. You got airborne spores, you got the Cephorus, you got WLF. Like, what is the whole? I couldn't go to Seattle. Soon as I seen this in Seattle, I'm turning around going back, big dog. Nah, I don't want my revenge. You know what I'm saying? I let God handle it, because I can't do it. I couldn't do it at all. But okay, so we start off with Dina. Dina's actually mapping out a route for them to be able to go. And here comes Ella, like, hey, what you doing? Can I help? She was like, nope, because I'm getting this map, and there's an area in between here where we could be able to go across, where there is no patrol, there's no lights, there's no nothing. What should be a red to me, and I get it. They probably know that it's a red flag, but if there's an area that the WLF is not going, and that they're beefing with the Scars, then damn well there's only got to be one other thing that are keeping the WLF and the Scars away from this area, and that's the cordyceps, the clickers, all of that wild stuff that we done ran into, the infected, all of that's down there. You know what I mean? So that you got to proceed with caution. And I think that's what I was talking about, with certain parts of the last episode. Like, there's a height of danger that's going on. There's a big thing of danger that's in this particular universe. Yes, you're not going to be on high alert all the time, but I ain't gonna lie. Live in the projects for a minute. You're gonna have heightened awareness, because you got to deal with the people next door, roaches, rats, all that. Your senses, you're not gonna be happy every day. Matter of fact, you be like, how the hell I get up out of here? But that's just me. You know what I mean? Maybe they think different. But hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I grew up, I've been in some places where, you gotta watch where you step and eat. You know what I mean? Because it was terrible, terrible living conditions. So you go back with Ellie, and Ellie goes in and she sees all this music equipment and she's freaking out, you know. And again, this theater is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. This theater is beautiful. Especially, I'm not gonna lie, that whole stage with the wood grain is beautiful. We have something like that in Kansas City at the Uptown Theater. Our theater, I don't think is as big as that, but it could be. It actually could be. But that's actually really nice. So she finds this particular guitar, and again, this is flashing. This is setting up, you know, those flashbacks that we're gonna see with Joel. Because again, Joel gave her the guitar, taught her how to play in universe. You know, so she's over here about to do her acoustic set in front of a crowd of nobody, which is again, and again, the cinematography is great on here. And what I like about the cinematography is the way that she's framed in this scene while she's actually singing. The light, everything that's hitting her. And if you notice in her expression, she is now reflecting, right? She reflecting because again, Joel giving her that guitar is a big part of her life. And you can see in her expression right there that she is missing Joel. Her playing this song, I think it's the Pearl Jam song, but she's playing this song and everything is so much of a deep reflection on her life right now that she can't help but miss Joel. And not only missing Joel, she also has to worry about Dina, protecting Dina. Now she has to be Joel. And let's be honest, that's a lot of responsibility that she has now put on her shoulders. And I don't think that we seen her. We are going to see the weight of revenge, the weight of security, making sure that Dina is secure and safe, making sure that she is safe, making sure that she goes after Abby. The weight of that, what does that really feel like? Without consistently breaking completely all the way down. You see it right here. It is expression. And like I said, the cinematography is good because you got her at the right angle with that orange hue to give that reflection out on that. So Dina comes back in and she lets her know where the points that we can be able to move. Now, where she has right here, where it's circled at is the lighting, and that big middle area is the area that has not been protected. So they know that they have a window that they could be able to go into that building, whatever that building is, whatever that building consists of. They have that window to be able to go across and not be spotted by WLF. So that is the good part. But again, there is this there is this sense of what, like, once we get over there, we got to make sure that we're not only protected, but we got to watch out for the infected also. So if you go in there and if WLF ain't in there, if this other group that's not in there would say, they don't really know about, but if they're not in there, the WF ain't in there, it got to be this. It got to be the infected. So we got to make sure that we proceed with caution. And of course, they express their love for each other, but they say this is what we came here for. So we get back to Seattle, the main streets. And again, they're smart about going through the main streets at this particular time. And the reason why I say that they're smart, because WLF also has to worry about their enemies. So they do have a window where they can be able to maneuver through without actually getting into a firefight with the WLF. But also, like I said, you have the WLF and you also have the Scars. We would run up and they done. I'm talking about they smoked this whole entire group and it was like feel this, feel or love. I got something you can feel, so you already know, that the Scars are at war. You know what I mean? They're at war. They're like, this is starting to get sick. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I told y'all in the beginning, I couldn't be here. I couldn't be here. I would have turned around. Like, what in the whole entire hell is going on? She's looking like, damn. There is a lot going on. So they have this part because I'm not gonna lie. If you look at the way this is framed, Dina looks more like the badass, and Ellie looks more like what in the whole entire hell, just in this scene. But she's explaining her backstory in here the first time that she had to kill somebody or unalive. Can't say that on YouTube. Unalive someone, and she's like, who is doing this? But she's telling her backstory, like how she was 8 years old, where she witnessed her mother get unalive by a guy, and tried to kill her family except for her sister. And she was 8 years old, and she surprised the guy by going ahead and uh uh the next live is on tomorrow, said Kilmer. I just seen this. Uh, but then she had to unalive her the person who was torturing her mother at 8 years old, and how that guy was surprised. But she really didn't go because this was so hard for her. Ellie is saying, yo, look, I that has got to be hard for you. But she played it to the point where she's like, look, what did I tell you? We're here for a mission. And it's almost like she understands the mission that she's in right now. Like, I'm doing this because I understand. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I know that I understand. I understand your motivations. I said I was going to be with you. So we got to move forward. You know what I mean? So no matter what, this is what I got to do. I got you. So and it's a painful memory for her. And it probably goes back to when her and Joel, when she was riding back with Joel's body. And she was kind of like slumped over. She was upset because, Joel was, like a parental figure to her also. So Dina has just as much stake in this as Ellie. Because she has to. So now we see here, if you go back to the map and you look here, that big middle area where there's no lights, that's their exit. That's their entry point, and it's dark, but you can see the building right here, which to me is that hospital. So again, they got a lot of sneaking around that they have to do to get inside of the actual building without being caught. So hold on. No. So I had to just make sure to close capture because I had to remember what place I was in. So you already know that this place is unoccupied. So they gotta go in and find out why is, like she said, haunted but empty. She was like, oh, just like our souls, or just like us, So she knows that there has to be a horde of the infected down here. So this is the first time that Dina tells Ellie that she loves her, and she was like, yeah, I know. She pulled the old Han Solo, I love you. So they go inside the hallway, and inside the hallway, they're hearing a particular sound. They don't know what it's coming from. Now, remember, this is a good framing too, because if you wasn't paying attention to this and you were looking at this, you would think this is a cutscene from the video game, just in high definition. You know, because this is the video game aspect that you're getting in. There are certain scenes that you look at that looks just like it could be a cutscene from the video game, which is dope. Because again, you know, I know that certain people have a problem with certain shows doing adaptations of video games and stuff like that, but do they do a good job representing the video game itself? Do they do certain scenes that, oh my God, it's like the video game, or are they doing just one, or are they consistent? And what I can say about The Last of Us, they're consistent with the way they do the framing and everything, because again, the original creators of the video game, they are the executive producers of this show. So she goes in and she sees the exit. So this is where you start to understand that there are particular infected now, which we already seen, that literally kind of hunts. What's up, Kiro? What's good? They kind of hunt. So they're now going around and surrounding Dina and Ellie. And the way that they do it is dope, because they make these particular sounds to try to draw you out. So she was like, she put her backpack on the thing to give lighting. That was dope. And then there we go. And you got clickers everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Action presumed. Clicker. I'm sorry. I believe Ellie is a bad shot. After being with Joel so long, after shooting with Tommy, she gets freaked out and she just start busting everything. You know what I mean? Like, but these mothers was on them like white on rice though. She was like, oh snap. They was all on the thing. She was like, it did. She done, you know, that's why I said the sense of danger. When I said that, I got a lot of flack about this on the Blurred AF. The sense of danger is, we know that we're going to get to a particular area. How much ammunition can we be able to hold? So we're prepared for not only the human aspect, but the non-human aspect with these, with the infected. Because the infected, like these people are over here, I'm talking about wilding out. You know what I mean? But then we get the introduction, and just like with Joel coming in to save Abby, and this is where I was talking about the predictability. Like, this is literally episode 2 or 3. What was the episode where we lost Joel? Was that 2? Was it 2? Yeah, it was 2. Or was it 3? One of them. But this is, you know, now Ellie's version of what happened with Abby, except she doesn't kill Jesse. So Jesse is here, and she was like who it was, because she thought it was, I mean, for a second it was like, oh my God, is this, it was episode 2. Thank you, Derek Dynasty, episode 2. And this is why I said the predictability. Now, you know, for the game players, you know that Jesse comes back. You know that Tommy was already in Seattle, and Tommy went on his revenge first. You know what I'm saying? But in the video, in the HBO series, they let Tommy stay behind in here, and there is a hint that Tommy is going to be in at least episode 6 or 7. Now that Jesse's here, I don't believe Jesse went by himself. You know, he actually says that Tommy is here too. So I think we're going to see Tommy here soon. So again, they're going across. Now they got it. Now you're dealing with WLF, because now you're trying to get away and get to the woods where you could be able to escape out of WLF, the lights of WLF. But when you run from WLF, you run right into the scars. And of course, in here, because I don't have the audio on, because again, I'm not trying to get in trouble with HBO. There is particular whistles that the Scars do. It comes directly from the video game. I know this because the small demo that I played, I didn't know what the whistles meant. I got tore the hell up. I got pissed off and I stopped playing that game. I was like, nah, I'm cool. I am not about to sit up here and get shot to death with bows and arrows. I'm not. I'm not, and get beat up by big dudes. No, I'm cool. You know what I mean? It was fun, but I don't have the patience for that. You know what I mean? So, and then again, this is hold on, because I want to play this real quick because this is basically the love triangle that you're getting ready to go through right now. Jesse got Nina pregnant. Dina's in love with Ellie. Ellie and Dina go out for a revenge tour in Seattle. Jesse, the baby daddy, gotta come. You know what I mean? And do you think he's happy about this? Now he don't know that she's pregnant, but do you think he's happy about it? Probably not.
It's a triangulation, by the way.
Thanks, that was all Dina.
Trust me, I didn't think it was you.
How did you find the theater?
Do I look like I want to fucking talk to you right now?
He is pissed. I love it. I love it. Stargate, what's going on? We said what I don't get with these people who use the human aspect as an excuse in this. Isn't it also human to be more cognizant and aware of your surroundings and danger-driven advice? That's all I've been saying, Stargate. That's all I've been saying. Yo, I lived in Compton. My ears was on high alert all of the time. Even though that I had a little fun, that fun is quickly stopped when you hear pop, 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 or you hear do, 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 do. Everybody go inside. This is your curfew. I lived in Compton in 2003. You had a curfew. The helicopter came around and told your ass to get in the house. Yeah. There's a human aspect. There's also like know your surroundings. That's the only thing that I was trying to say. You know what I mean? Like there's certain areas there's certain parts of the show where I'm like, you guys are too happy for all. I get it. Cause but I mean, hell, I'm gonna be on high alert. It's not nothing. I gotta make sure that we're good. Because there's too much going on for me not to be on my P's and Q's. I can't be caught slipping. You know what I mean? And I think that's what I'm sometimes that pisses me off because I'm like, dude, y'all gonna get caught slipping and then what? Because y'all over here, y'all over here being too friendly and being too happy right now. So again, there with Tommy and it's like, Tommy okay? And he was like, hopefully. So both Tommy and Jesse are out here. And like I said, you're in the woods because again, the Scars live in the woods. Now, again, as good as the dialogue here is, there was a whole lot of just walking through the woods that was going on that I was like, okay, can we kind of hurry it up just a little bit? Shave 2 minutes off the walk in the woods. You know what I mean? So we can get to this, which was absolutely awesome. You know what I'm saying? And this is where they took I was about to call it WLF member, and they basically, now again, what I don't understand in this universe is you got these radical fanatics, because that's what I'm going to call them, in the Scars. You got these radical fanatics in the WLF. And you also got cordyceps. You have people that are turning into cordyceps monsters. And this is what you decide to do on a good Saturday night. Yeah, this was nasty. You decide to string somebody up and gut them like a fish, just like they did the other WLF members in the last episode. They had them strung up in that building. Like, this was nasty. I'm not gonna lie. This was nasty. And then you hear the whistles. You know what I'm saying? Is I'll meet you back at the theater. Let's go. And then this is where Dina got shot here. You know what I mean? She got shot. And again, I'm sorry. Let's keep it a buck. Right? Dina gets shot. She like, oh, she got shot in a leg with an arrow. And I'm sorry, that arrow shot is going to hurt like a son of a gun when you pull that arrow out because it's close to ripped flesh. Oh my God, you're going to be hurting after that. Now, again, this is where I'm like, you've been with Joel this whole entire time and you decide to shoot blindly. Like, if you notice when she's getting away, she starts to shoot. She literally, like, Jesse goes and takes Dina. But look, who shoots like that? Lord have mercy. Ellie, you got to learn how to shoot better than this, babe. You can't just be shooting. Again, I know that you're running in the woods. You're trying to get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be able to take a stance. They got bows and arrows. You got a gun. You know what I mean? And actually, how many bullets do you got in that clip? And do you have extra clips? Is what I'm asking. Because you've been over here shooting the affected, all of this, and I ain't seen you reload not once. But again, the whistles in here to let them know that, you know, they don't see the target. They do see the target. All of this. I do not like them whistles in that game. I do not like those. Them whistles give me nightmares because I got beat the hell up in the small portion of the game that I played, and I was like, that's it. I'm good. And I think it was The Last of Us 2.5. I think that was the demo or something like they had. No, I'm straight. And you still got the dogs out here. And again, you know what I'm curious about? Like, the dogs go to the infected. What other canines that could be out here that could go after? I mean, you got coyotes, you got wolves, you know, of course you got all species of dogs. Is there any other animals that go after the infected, or are they infected? I mean, the giraffes was cool. You know what I'm saying? But there's no other animals like tigers or lions or anything that go after the infected in this world. What is going on? Mika G, what's up? I didn't say anything. I was commenting from my other page, Border Trade Chat. AO. So I didn't do anything. I didn't even hate. So again, they're trying to find out, and then that's where Dina slips through. Ellie slips through and goes into the hospital. And this is this is where it starts getting good. Again, this is my girl right here. You know what I mean? And she's over there. She was cleaning up the wounds of that other patient. And this is where, I'm not gonna lie, this is where Bella Ramsey becomes a whole. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. Bella Ramsey might have a future in horror, because the way that she pulled up on Nora. Now, I was all into this. This is where I was all into this. But again, this is the inverse of what we've seen with Abby and Joel. You know, and this is where I was said, this is where the predictability got a little. It is as good as it is. It's almost, we kind of already seen this, and this is probably the fault of the video game, because this is the video game, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, Bella Ramsey has a future in horror, because homegirl doesn't blink. She look like a whole bird creeping on her, talking about where's Abby? Where is she? She went straight Batman villain. But tell me, she doesn't look creepy as hell. She doesn't blink. Like, she does not blink. And she was like, that's why we need to pop his ass anyway. You know what I mean? So Nora like, hey, look, hey, big dog, look here, big dog. All right, so I might know where Abby is, but I ain't gonna tell you. And He was like, but I could still hear his screams. It was like, yeah, but he said, yeah, the little got what he deserved. And she was like, oh, snap, son. And she went, and again, I'm mad at Ellie. Ellie could have popped her right here if she would have stopped, aimed, and shot. You know what Ellie decided to do? Just shoot wildly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie, she looks like a whore. Like the way that she's screaming, she looks really terrified. Let me run that back one more time. She looks extremely terrified of Ellie. Like, let me get up out of here. This chick is crazy. Ah, intruder. Ah, pow. Like, ah. She looks intensely terrified. Ah, the way she was running is hilarious. And she's over here. I'm talking about using the Kevin McAllister school of trying to get somebody off of you. You know what I'm saying? But she is gone. You know what I'm saying? Because Ellie looks terrifying. Like she was like, oh, and she was like, Nora, hello, Nora. I'm good to find you. And she was like, maybe if I get down this elevator shaft. And she was like, oh, snap, B2. But she was like, whether I get shot. All right, go do your thing. America. Yeah. Go on the road to say the good day. All right. Later. All right. So she's down the elevator shaft. And again, all of this is good because you're starting to see the inverse of the hunted and the prey. And again, she starts crawling down because again, she's getting shot, but she's trying to shoot Nora while the WLF is trying to shoot her. So there's a lot going on right now. Right? And she's like, I'm going to find you. Hello, Clarice. Where are you? And you go through it. Like I said, I don't think Bella Ramsey blinked. The scenes that she was in, she did not blink. But then again, with all of this going on, all of this revenge is going on, all of this beef in between the Scars and the Wolves, there's this whole cordyceps kingdom down here. Look at this. Like there's literally spores in the air. And because Ellie is immune, you know what I mean? She like, hey, oh, snap, son. Like, she looks genuinely like, what the hell? Now, again, this where you start to see the humans, how the humans in it. I'm not going to lie. Excuse me. When I watched this, it reminded me of Aliens. Like, how the aliens be on the walls and stuff like that. That's what it reminded me of. And I was like, this is nasty. They're basically puppeteering these people to blow spores whenever they feel like it's almost like a Venus flytrap, you know. And the closer that you get, the way that they put the spores out, and that is creepy. I'm not gonna lie. The practical effects on this show is amazing. Mate, you can't tell me that the practical effects in this show have been nothing short but just great, just completely great. I love this. And then you also see the and again, you see the spore come out, right? The spore comes out when a human is getting next to it, which is great. But we find out that this is the lady's son from the beginning of the episode. You find out it is like mushrooms. It's a good one, Tina. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, it's like mushrooms. That's the lady's son. I'm talking about she's blowing the spores so you can get some of that. That's that lady's son that she had to let go. But they are literally puppeteering these people's bodies. You know what I mean? Keeping them like fleshly, which is crazy because you would think the R.I.P. Leon, right? You would think because they are made of flesh and these are a plant organism that eventually the flesh would die. But obviously, you know, did you Dre, did you smoke on that Leon pack? You stupid. We smoking on that Leon today. Nah. But it's crazy how they incorporated the effects of the cordyceps to be able to still puppeteer human flesh without it rotting away. I think that that's awesome. But again, cordyceps to look at, people to kill. So she goes in here, she cuts the lights red, which is dope. Which again, the cinematography is so dope. But I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. Keep it a buck. I don't know whose forehead is bigger, me or Bella Ramsey, because it's starting to look the same. I'm growing hair out so I can be able to cover it. You know what I'm saying? By next year, maybe I can cover some of this forehead. But good God Almighty, my girl, all you see is forehead and a gun. I'm scared. But yeah, this part was super dope. This part, he said, we're breathing spores. You know what I'm saying? We're infected. We're going to die. And he was like, not me, mother. I'm trying to tell you. Tell me she doesn't have a career in maybe an A24 horror flick, because she looks crazy. Like, if this is again, she might not have star presence, because I don't look at Bella Ramsey as a Hollywood star, right? I don't look at her as a Hollywood A-list star. I just don't see it. Like I said, she's been acting since Game of Thrones. I just don't see her yet. You know what I mean? But what I can say is that if she ever plays an antagonist, she has a very much a career as an antagonist somewhere. She does. She can play a villain. I think that's where I can see her at. She plays a villain way better than she plays an antagonist. And she was telling her, Ellie gave Nora the red light special all through the night. Baby, it's yours. I used to be my video, boy. I used to stay up late on MTV waiting for the red light special video to come out. It's like, you're real. She now knows that she's the girl who was supposed to go to Denver or supposed to go to Colorado and become the cure. And again, Abby's father was the one who was going to use her and try to get the cure from her by sacrificing her. Again, this is the adverse. That lady, Mrs. Park, sacrificed Leon. Leon, you ain't coming home. You staying down there and with the plants. But Joel was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you operate on the little girl and none of that. And he kept her, and that's the adverse effect. So did Joel do more harm than good? Did Mrs. Park do more harm than good? Having her son down here as a having old Leon down there as a way for the spores to spread. You know what I mean? It's a duality. I don't know what I would do. You said Ellie gave Nora. Hold on, wait a minute. She got that plain face like Sissy Spacek can carry. Yeah. She just. He said, "Did you know what he did?" He was like, "I don't care." You don't care. This was an excellent. Now this was an excellent scene. You know what I mean? And he said the only effing person alive that could make a cure from you, and he didn't allow that. You know what I'm saying? And now we're about to be affected. It said, and you let them know Joel shot him. But you know what? She didn't even. She was like, I know. But if you look at this, she looks crazy. She looked like Mephisto. What's his name from New Rock Stars? She looks like Mephisto. And she like, I don't care. And she was like, you know what I'm gonna do to you? She was like, where's Abby? Come on now, where's Abby? You're over here. I don't care if you're getting affected. Where's Abby? You're not dead yet, mother. And she went and got it. I got myself a pipe. And she went Mario. She literally went Mario piping right here. If Abby went golfing, she went down the Mario pipe. She said, "Where is she?" She went Batmaning. Where is she? I don't know. Ah! Where is she? Oh, Norwood. Hey, would you rather get beat with a pipe or turn into a cordyceps? Or one of the affected? I'd rather just beat me. Just kill me. Get me up out of here. Now, in the middle of this, you get this scene where Ellie wakes up in this bed that looks like the house that we seen in the second episode. No, the third episode after. Was it the second episode after they got? No, the third episode when Ellie goes to the house and she's crying over Joel's stuff. This looks like the house and the bed and everything. And he was like, "Hey, kiddo." You know what I'm saying? What that? Oh my God, Pedro Pascal, so cool. Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy. With Stevie Night. He was like, "Hello, kiddo." And that is the end of the episode. Again, the episode is not bad. The episode just had certain scenes that I wish was cut down for time. And one of those scenes, what the biggest was the scene with the forest scene. I think that just went on a little too long, and them going to inside the hospital went on just a tad. Again, you got to tag it on for time because you're trying to get about an hour worth of show, and to me, that's the only part that that dragged on just a little bit too long. But this is not a bad episode. It's just those are the parts that I have a problem with. That's it. Those are the parts that I have a problem with. There was no reason to cut her up to get the cure. He just wants to experiment further. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Dre, can you imagine if Joe had both his daughter Sarah and Ellie? I mean, good God, that would have been crazy. He would have killed everybody. I'm talking about he would have killed everybody. You know what I mean? But again, not a bad episode. I'm not saying it's the greatest episode that I've ever seen in my life. But there are elements of this show. Again, I think it's because the lack of star power on screen. There was a lot of moving around. There was a lot of getting from to A to B. And again, in certain episodes, it's not bad if the pace is picked up. You've seen it in 24. We've seen it in horror movies. You know what I mean? And I think, to me, they just dragged it on a little bit too long, which took me out for a moment. And that was it. Other than that, the dialogue was good. Compared that to the cutscenes that I seen from the game. Not bad renditions of what they did. So, yeah, I liked it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And again, it's just a lack of star power that was on screen for me.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that up, B.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. What did you guys think about The Last of Us episode 5? I'm very interested in episode 6. Of course, I love Pedro Pascal too. I just like dude. I just liked him. After he did Maxwell Lord and Wonder Woman in 1984, I seen the behind the scenes and actually him talking and all of that. I just started liking dude. And then he was the Mandalorian. He does The Last of Us. I just like him. So, but what did you guys think about this episode? Please put it in the comments section below. Let's not forget about the question of the day before I let you guys go. Oh man, hold on. Let me, because I think Marley Moore brought up the question of the day. The question of the day. Was that? Okay, that wasn't there. Well, I mean, oh, okay. That's crazy. Because I seen Marlon Mars question the other day, and now I can't find it. And let me look and see if I can find it here so I can get that question of the I'm trying to see what and for some reason, let me okay, so it wasn't there. What was the question? Marley Marv, you still in the house? What was your question of the day on? What video or what live stream was that on? Because now, for some reason, I can't find your question of the day. Okay, so it wasn't the there's 25 comments in here, and I can only find what's yeah, I okay, and I can't find. But do you know which video that you put it under? Because I can't, for some reason, I cannot find it. Now it's not showing me all of my comments for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't know why. But okay, so is the Mount Rushmore of super teams. So I think you put okay, you said name 4 Mount Rushmores of super team with only 4. It was Friday's video. Okay. So you said 4. Was that the Stevie Knight video? Or Death Battle? I think it was a Death Battle video. No, it wasn't. Okay. All right, it was I don't why is it not showing me? That's crazy. It's not showing me the actual video is hold on. Yeah, it's not showing me the video. But anyway, you said 4. 4 teams, 4 teams. Okay. 4 of 4 teams. They have to have 4 people in it. Of course, TMNT is going to be also in it. There's going to be number 1 TMNT, number 2 of 4 people that's on my Mount Rushmore, and you didn't put this, but Knight Rider, Kit, Michael Knight, Bonnie, and Devin. wasn't ready for that one. Let me see. The X-Men has more than 4 people, so no X-Men. A team of 4. A team of 4. That's hard. Fantastic Four, obviously. I'm trying to think of who else has a team of 4. Just 4 people. That's not the Turtles. Okay, so I got Knight Rider, TMNT, Fantastic Four, and it just has 4 people in it. It just has to have a necessarily doesn't have to have a team of 4. Oh, I mean the X-Men. The X-Men, most definitely. The X-Men. I know people will say Avengers. No, X-Men. X-Men off top. X-Men off top. And I'm not talking about deviations like X-Force, X-Factor, Excalibur, X-Men. X-Men. And I would do Jim Lee's X-Men. I was gonna do Giant Size X-Men, but Jim Lee's X-Men, that cover is just dope. So that's who I will pick as my Mount Rushmore. All right, let me get you guys up out of here. Thank you, Marley Moore, for the question of the day. And make sure to put it in the comment section if you want for me to respond to a question of the day, which obviously I couldn't find. But again, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of The Dre Mac Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher. You know who I forgot? The 4 Horsemen in the NWO. Where's my outro at? I gotta go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.